Well, hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hello.
I tell you, we just got started, and I don't have my production buddy with me, and I already messed up. I didn't have the track unmuted and all that, and we only got half of our brother Josh Singletary playing our intro music, but we'll live through it, right?
Yes, sir.
Just as long as Josh doesn't figure out.
As long as Josh doesn't figure out. Josh, are you watching? You should be. If you're not, why not? Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. We are so glad that you joined us. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had an episode. This is episode 6, guys. Can you believe it?
Number 6.
Wait.
Yeah, use your other hand there. And yeah, there you go. And real quick, before we get to rolling in, I'm going to let Miss Avery explain a little bit about what she's got going on tonight.
Hi, yes, I'm here, but I am currently on campus at UAB. There went one of my teammates. You can wave, hey, Kim. We are competing in a virtual case competition through Penn State tomorrow, and our case is due tonight at midnight Eastern time. So we are currently preparing that. And so if I'm muted or I have to even cut off my camera at points, I apologize. I'm here and I'm super excited about having Cole with us tonight, but I didn't want to totally not be here. So
yes,
apologies for any kind of noise or movement from me.
That is fine. We appreciate you for going the extra mile and joining us as much as you can.
Yes.
And
Blaine said go Blazers, so blaze on. That's a plug for you and me.
There you go. Well, we are so glad that y'all out there joining us tonight. And if you're joining us live, and if you would, we are broadcasting live on SBM Studios on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. So if you would take just a few moments, we would love for you to help us share the word that we're out here. We're going live. We got a wonderful show tonight, wonderful guest. If you'll hit share, follow us, like us on the Facebook page, subscribe to that YouTube page channel. Just help us out with that. We sure would appreciate it. And like always, we're going to do just a couple of quick commercials. In fact, I may bow out in a week or two, and Brother Evan may take over some of this commercial. He's got the voice. I don't have the voice like Evan does. But anyway, y'all, we thank y'all so much for supporting us by watching, and we've got your prayers, we've got encouragement, we've got folks reaching out to us. That means the world to us. We also have a few things we're praying through right now as a team. These 4 faces you're seeing on your screen, and includes maybe having some presence at some of the big events, or at least one of the big events in Southern gospel music in the coming year, to be able to do some live stuff or be on site there and do some recorded interviews and try to help promote Southern gospel for this live stream and our community that we're trying to grow of young artists and young fans. And all that to say is, as we're praying through that, one thing that we need is a budget. We're going to need a budget for the stuff that we're looking at doing. So a few ways that you can help with this. First of all, if anybody out there just says, we love y'all, we believe what you're doing, we would love to make a love gift to y'all. If you'll contact me through the comments, you can comment on SBM Studios or to my Facebook page personally. Send an email to sbmmin.13@gmail.com. Reach out. I'll be glad to give you information how you can help support our team. And also, we have some sponsors that we'd like to talk about. We have Ben Soap Company. This is a Christian family-owned company producing all natural products derived from goat milk. They have soaps and lotions and lip balms and salve and just about everything you could think of, and all natural products, great for skin, great for folks with sensitive skin, eczema, psoriasis, stuff like that. My family uses the products. If you go shop with them at bendsoap.com and use the coupon code SBM Studios, you get a discount and they give us a little love back. So we would appreciate that. And we also have mypillow.com. And a lot of our artists that we've had on has spoke about using MyPillow. I use MyPillow. I've used it for a long time, and it's the best pillow I've ever had. I think one of my co-hosts tonight may have a MyPillow.
Right here.
Right there. I mean, on with the pillowcase didn't come from My Pillow, but the
No.
pillow did. So mypillow.com is sponsoring us. They have all type of products too, not just pillows. They have blankets, sheets, towel sets, pajamas, all kind of different things. If you go to mypillow.com and use the coupon code SBM Studios, you'll get a discount, a really good discount, and then they give us a little love. And then while we're at it, supporting our young folks, we do support Matthew and Presley Gooch, the young artist traveling with Karen Peck and New River. They have solidgroundcoffee.com. It's their website, Solid Ground Coffee. Excellent coffee. I hear it's some of the best. Now, y'all know I'm the goofy old man that doesn't drink such, but everybody Jason, our producer, he believes in it. They drink it all the time, said it's the best coffee. If you'll go to their site and use SBM Studios coupon code, they'll give you a discount. All right. And we just want to support them. All right. How'd I do? Too long, wasn't it? I tried. Evan, you'll just have to take over next time. Okay.
I got you.
But I tell you, everybody is here for what we're not doing right now. So let's go ahead and move in to why everybody has joined us. We've got him sitting in the green room. He's about ate all of the blue M&Ms out of the bowl. He's getting a little feisty back there, kind of, we need to get him on before he, just leaves us. So we are so thankful tonight to have just an outstanding young singer, doing a great job on the road with the Kingsmen Quartet. Everybody welcome Cole Watson with us tonight.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy.
Good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
I was afraid you was going to fall asleep in there while I was taking so long doing all the
I
commercials.
I almost did, but it's okay.
Hey, thank you so much for taking your time to join us tonight.
Well, thank y'all for having me. It's an honor.
You have been on our list. We definitely wanted to get you in, and I'm just so thankful that schedules all the stars aligned, and we got our schedules out to get you on. I know you've had a busy time, and we're just thankful you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Glad it can work out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to just pound you for about 5 hours with as many No, I'm just kidding. But
I'm used to 5 hour stuff. That's usually how long we sing. So,
I hear you. But I know that my panel's got questions for you. But a good way to start this thing out is always just opening up to you to kind of give your, most people who are watching tonight know you and know a good bit about your background. But maybe if you could just give us a little information about yourself, where you're from, how you got started in the music, and just introduce yourself to the crowd like they've never seen you before.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm 27. I grew up in church. I was there Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. Anytime the door was open, I was there. And I grew up playing baseball. So if you would have asked me when I was, 5, 6, 7 years old, and asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was the next Chipper Jones. That's what I wanted to do. You couldn't have told me otherwise. But I grew up, my dad and my grandparents, they sang. So fun fact, not many people know this. My grandparents, on my dad's side, they sang with Tim Riley before he went with Gold City.
Oh.
Tim was their bass singer, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think it was Tim. I think it was Tim, my grandparents, my uncle played piano. He went to Juilliard, played piano. And then I think Buddy Burton. I know Buddy Burton for sure sang with my grandparents, but I don't know if it was that group in particular. But anyway, yeah, so I grew up listening to those, they were cassettes at that time, cassettes of that. And then grew up in church, and my grandfather led music, and my dad started singing with my grandparents. And so they had a trio called the Watsons, and I grew up listening to them. And so while I love baseball, I'm thinking, man, this music's sticking out to me. I love this music. I want to sing, but I was so shy and so nervous. I would stand in front of the TV, and my first big group that I ever heard was Gold City. So I stood in front of the big screen, and I had a red sport coat on because Jay Parrick had one. And the little toy microphones that you used to buy at Dollar General or Walmart or whatever, I have a picture of me standing in front of the TV, face all red, vein popping out, everything. And I knew then I wanted to do that. That's what I wanted to do. But I never could. My pawpaw begged me my dad begged me. They all begged me to stand on stage and sing, but I couldn't because I was so scared and so nervous. until one day I was, I don't know, probably 18, 19 years old. Um, my dad started a group called Exodus in here in Gadsden, and with two ladies that went to church with us. And so I went to their concerts and stuff, and that's how I met Pat Barker and a couple of people like that. So they were at practice one day, and I went with Dad just to hear them practice. And they were learning a song, I Got a Hold of God This Morning by the Perrys. And so I'm like, man, such a great song. And I was just goofing off. I mean, and so I learned the song. And the next time they went to practice, I asked my dad, I said, hey, you mind if I go to practice with you again? He said, sure. And I said, would you mind if I practiced a song with the girls, Susan and Mary? He said, and this was his words verbatim. He said, I don't mind. Can you sing? And I said, I don't know. We're going to find out. And so I went to practice and we sang. And so we sang that song. We learned that song and sang it at church the next Sunday. I was so scared. There's a picture of me with my hand in my pocket. I was looking at the ground. I was so nervous. I don't think I looked at one person in that audience. And from there on, I prayed. After that, I'm like, Lord, I want to do this. I want to sing. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I feel a calling to do this. But I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. I'm so shaky. Take away, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, take away all that, and just let me do it with ease and do it for your glory. And honestly, it's like a snap of a finger, and the rest is, history.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. I love hearing the backstories.
Oh, yeah. It's, it's amazing because, my grandfather has since passed, and my dad has as well. And it's cool because two of my grandparents' favorite group were the Kingsmen and the Inspirations. They loved the Kingsmen and the Inspirations. My dad's favorite group was Gold City. And this time last year I was with Gold City, and then now I'm with the Kingsmen. So it's kind of cool to have sang with Gold City and now the Kingsmen, my grandparents' favorite group, and then my dad's favorite. It's really special. It's really neat. So
that is outstanding. I'm gonna let y'all jump in and go ahead and start sharing some of your questions.
You're like you said, you're only 28, Cole, and you've sang with a really good resume of groups. And what is some standout people that you've sang with?
Goodness.
Of course, Ray being a Hall of Famer. Who's some other people that you've been on stage with?
So, I mean, I've stood on stage with Pat Barker, and Pat's goofy. He's everybody knows him as the I Hate Pat shirts, or Who is Pat Barker shirts, all that kind of stuff. But Pat Barker, in my opinion, I love his voice. I love his tones. I love his personality. He can speak well, and to me, he's just an overall good singer. He's a good bass singer. So I've early on, I had the honor to stand on stage with him. So that was pretty neat. Phil Cross is another one. When I was with Exodus, Phil helped produce some of our album, and so I got to stand on stage with Phil Cross, and that was really neat. Danny Riley. I will forever be grateful for Danny Riley and the opportunity that he gave me last year. Listen, I didn't know anything. I knew the songs. I knew that I loved this music, but as far as vocal and just road life, I had traveled with Troy and Tammy Burns, and I had a good taste of that. And Evan, they travel a lot, and I mean they go. And Troy Burns is another one. I've had the honor of traveling and standing on stage with him, but I'm forever grateful for that I got to stand on stage with Danny Riley. Ray Dean Reese, absolutely, you said it. I mean, he just that name alone speaks for itself. It's kind of surreal some nights. I'll be on stage, and I've even asked Alan, I've asked Thomas and Drew, and even Brandon has said this. Sometimes you forget that you're on stage with the Kingsmen. You get so caught up in the songs and how they speak to you that Ray will be speaking, and I'll be on stage and I'll be behind him, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I have to like take a moment just to realize I'm on stage with the Kingsmen, right behind Radine Reese. You know, it's crazy, and it's such an honor. And all those names and all those people, I mean, I've stood on stage. I've got to sing with Ernie Haas. I've got to sing with Jonathan Wilburn, who was my all-time favorite singer growing up. But my other all-time favorite singer, I had the opportunity to finally stand on stage with him last year, and that's Joseph Habeday.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph he's one of the main reasons I even got in. Him and Jonathan Wilburn are two of the main reasons I got into Southern gospel music, is them two. And I grew up with him in the Perrys, or Joseph in the Perrys, and then Jonathan in Gold City. But I've sang with Jonathan a bunch of times, but never Joseph. Until last year, we sang with him, and to stand on stage, I don't know. I wasn't fanboying. I mean, Joseph's a cool guy. We've become friends and stuff like that. But I kind of was fanboying a little bit because I'm like, I'm finally getting to stand on stage with Joseph Habeday. It was really cool. But yeah, I've been honored to stand on stage with for my age, and with some really incredible people. Mark Trammell being another one. And one thing I always like to do, and I hope I don't bother them, I don't think I do, but one thing I always love to do is when I am with them people, when I'm with Mark, or when I'm with Ernie, Rodney Griffin's another one, you know, Phil Cross, them kind of people, I sit there and I study them. I really try to take in everything that they are doing: stage presence, vocal, their tones, the way they speak, just certain things like that. Because look, I gotta be Cole Watson. You know, I gotta be me. But I feel like I can take certain things from certain people, and I try to go up to them every single time that I can, and I ask them, you know, what's some advice you can give me? You know, I'm young, I'm still green, I have a lot to learn, and I want to learn. So, what's some advice you could give me to help me along the way? And I sit there and I listen. I soak it all in, because those are my heroes. Those are the guys. Those are the people that I grew up listening to. You know, and it's not just Kim Hopper, Connie Hopper. I've got to stand on stage with them, and it's incredible. You know, and so I really try to take in that and just thank God for the moment that I'm in at that current time, thinking, wow, you know, a couple of years ago, I was a kid just in Gadsden, Alabama, who had a dream of singing, and just never, ever could imagine that I would be able to stand on stage with some of these people. And I sit there and I'm like, thank you, Lord, because it's really, it's amazing. And it's an honor. It's truly something. And it's something I'll never take for granted, ever.
That's awesome. Follow
Yeah.
real
Sorry,
quick,
Scott.
real quick follow-up question on that. Would you say, you mentioned a lot of names there that you look to, and wouldn't you say that all those names you mentioned also have been very intentional in pouring into you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I've noticed that, you know,
Yeah.
and the names
all
that you
of them.
mentioned, you keep hearing the same names repeated a lot in the industry from our young artists, and you pick up on who is just out there really giving the time and pouring into the young artist. And you just named, like, you just went down, especially male singers that you hit, you know, you just really went down the list. And so,
right. Well, yeah. And you know, here's the thing. They don't have to do that.
right.
They don't have to, but they do. And that's something that sticks out to me too, is their characters and the kind of people they really are. Troy Burns, when I traveled with Troy and Tammy, he fed into me as much as he could. And I learned a lot from him. I was very young when I traveled with him. I was very young and very, very green and immature. But I took, when I left them, I took what I had learned to help me grow. Then I get to Gold City, and I had Danny, I had Jonathan Wilburn, who was a huge. Jonathan Wilburn doesn't live far from me, and he invited me over to his house, and we went to his basement, his little office, his study, and we just sat there and talked. And he poured out wisdom, and I soaked it all in. But one thing that will forever stick out when I was talking to Jonathan, one, he asked me if I wanted coffee. So the fact that I was just sitting there with Jonathan Wilburn drinking coffee, talking to him, hearing all this wisdom and all these stories was fantastic. But it got to a point to where he looked at me and he said, Cole, he said, when I was first with Gold City and I was young, he said, I wouldn't be here today. And he started tearing up, and he left the room for just a second, and he grabbed his Bible and he held it up to me. He said, when I started getting to this right here, he said, everything changed for me. He said, and I would not be here if it wasn't for our Lord and the Bible. He said, study it, focus on it, never forget it. You can, because he said, you can get caught up in the lights, you can get caught up in the attention, you can get caught up in so much in this industry. But he said, always keep your focus on the Lord and this Bible. And he started tearing up, and that stuck with me. You know, another name I mentioned, Mark Trammell. Mark has helped me in so many ways. Phil Cross has helped me in so many ways. Another name that I didn't mention that I'll mention now, Arthur Rice, has helped me in so many ways. Again, these are my heroes that I grew up on. And there are a bunch of other people's heroes too. Evan, Riley, Avery, you know, any young artist that's in this music today, middle-aged artists for that matter, they're heroes to a lot of people. And a lot of people look up to these guys and these just legends, in my opinion. And the fact that they take time out of their busy schedules to help a young artist, to a young person who's coming up to them, who doesn't know a thing and just wants wisdom and encouragement, and they give you everything they can give you. That right there is fantastic.
It's good.
So
Avery?
Yeah, cool. I remember the first time we saw you was in Gadsden with Exodus, and I think it was a celebration of your dad's life. It had been a few years since he had passed, and I remember seeing you there, and I'm really proud of how far you've come, and you are mentoring the younger ones even now, and you're, you know, young yourself. It's amazing to watch you grow. So I'm really proud of you.
Well,
and
thank
we
you.
didn't even know each other way back then, but
No, like you just told me that, and I'm like, well, cool. I didn't know that.
I mean,
That's
that was pre-pandemic. That had to have been 2018, 2019, somewhere in there.
2018, 2019. Yeah, absolutely.
It
That's
was
awesome.
2018 because it was, I believe it was right after or right before Pat joined the Guardians, because that's the night I got to meet Pat Barker for the first time.
Okay, so was that who was there?
Donnie Marr was singing that night. Pat Barker was singing that night.
I put on that concert. It was at church at Wills Creek.
Yes. Yep. It was at the church at Wills
y'all
Creek.
were there.
We were there. Yeah.
Yeah. Blake
Tony and all of them
Blake Buckland was there. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was a good night. That was was special.
That was the first night I was like, this dude's gonna go far. Now you're singing lead and tearing people's face off every night with your.
That's awesome.
You're too kind. That's cool.
Riley, jump on in here, brother.
So, what is the process by which you came to join the Kingsmen?
So, years ago, well, I say years ago, it was probably, it was after the pandemic. Or was it? No, it was before the pandemic. I'm not real sure exactly how I got to know Alan. He claims he heard me with Exodus, and I think he did. I do know that Chris Bryant helped. Exodus had a single out, and Chris Bryant helped a lyric video for social media. So I do know that Bryant knew about us, and I'm pretty sure Alan heard us. Anyway, I got to know Alan, and Alan told me then to just work on my craft. He said, I hear it in your voice. He said, you're still young. I'll be honest with you. And I'm still young now. I still have a long way to go. But Alan said, I hear it in your voice. You have a unique tone to your voice. He said, you're just not there yet. So he said, work on your craft. And so I literally did not say another word to Alan Kendall until I started with Gold City. And then we started talking more, and we sang with the Kingsmen a couple of times and got to talking. Well, when all that went down in Gold City, and you know, I was without a job, and I didn't really know. I was praying. I didn't know, you know, should I go back home and try to find a you know, a 9-to-5 job or whatever, or should I continue to try to search for a group? Well, Alan had and Brandon actually. What funny, Brandon. I've spoken to Brandon one time. I was with Gold City. We sang. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I was bad sunburnt, and Brandon has. This is a little bit off topic, but Brandon never spoken a word to Brandon Reese in my whole life. And I show up and I'm talking to Alan and Chris Bryant, and Brandon just randomly walks up and looks at me and goes, because I'm swollen, like my face is burned, I'm swollen, my legs are swollen. It was bad. And Brandon looks me up and down and goes, dude, what's wrong with you? And I'm thinking, the first words this man ever spoke to me is that. But at NQC last year, it's a little side topic, just ignoring that. Anyway, so Brandon last year at NQC was talking to me, then Alan talked to me. And then I'm going to be honest, guys, I told both of them, I said, you know, the Kingsman stuff that y'all sing is pretty high. And I said, I'm just going to be upfront with you. I don't have Chris Bryant's range. I don't know if I can sing that high. I said, I'm going to continue to work on my voice, but I'm not there yet. And they both said, well, that's okay. We understand. And they said, we have a plethora of songs that we can pull songs back from and to fit your voice. And I said, okay. Well, they wanted me to go out with them, so I did. I went out with them, and it kind of that was it, really. I mean, I went out with them, and it was amazing, honestly, because you know you hear people say it's a cliche thing. It fits like a glove, and I really do feel like it. That's the way this was. I mean, I went out with them one weekend, and it's like I traveled with them for 5 years. You know, Ray was fantastic. Brandon was fantastic. Drew, Thomas. Thomas came over from Gold City, me and him, and so it helped that I had already traveled with Thomas, making that transition, and I've already known Alan, so it all just kind of worked together, and God definitely had his hand in it for sure. So fantastic. that's how that came about.
And again, I love the backstories. Thanks for sharing that with us. That goes back a way. Avery had to step out just for a second. She will probably be back with us shortly. Right quick, before we move on, we do have several folks watching, and we've got some folks saying hello. We'll put them up. Blaine Rayleigh is in the house, and he says hello, and also said go Blazers. So there you go.
Whatever the little thing Avery does is like a dragon. It kind of looks crazy to me.
Yep. Matthew Mays is joining us tonight. He says howdy. And Miss Megan Edgeworth is a faithful watcher. She watches all the time. Old person watching in Michigan. Thanks for doing this. Proud of you young people. Well, thank you, Miss Eunice, for watching. It's amazing. Our Southern Gospel Forward Facebook group, which is a private group, and it's designed for like the artist and then the young fans. We have been inundated with requests from how do we put this? Not young, but anyway, we're trying to be good. We hate to deny. So we've set up another group for everybody, Southern Gospel family, that we're trying to promote out there. But y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. All ages, we appreciate having you. Nicholas is in the house.
Nick.
What's up, Nick? Brother Aaron Swain. He's one that we'll have on before long.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah. Local watcher from my neck of the woods, Mallory on. Chase Emery. Some of these y'all may know and I may not. So that's
good friend of mine. Chase
Chase
is in band with me. So
awesome. Thank you for watching, Chase. This guy, I think I've heard of him once or twice.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, Ethan is
Who's
watching.
who's he sing with again?
Man.
And he likes your Braves hats. So
he sings with the
yeah.
Inspirations, don't he? No.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
One
Ethan.
of those.
Yeah.
One of those.
Look, Ethan, I still got to represent. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So
Always. Miss Nina's watching. She says, thanks from
Mhm.
Winter Haven, Florida. And I figure you maybe, Cole, you may know Ben Sharp. He says
I
a
do know
plethora.
Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
Ben
used a
knows
big
me.
word
Listen,
there.
yeah, I did use a big word, and it don't happen often. And Ben caught it, so I appreciate Ben coming on here and commenting that. Appreciate it. That's typical Ben.
Hannah Bradford says hello.
Hello.
And I am quite fond of this feller too. He is great for Southern Gospel music history and maintains the Southern Gospel history website that we use with the Southern Gospel Music Association.
I just want to tell him now that, because I've been meaning to send something to this guy. Nothing to take away from your interview, Cole. I'm on SG History nearly every single day looking at something or some album or some group. So thank you for that website, because it's
he does
a
a
great
great
rabbit
job.
hole to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching. And
Same with me.
Remember, y'all that's watching out there. Well, that was unfortunate. I thought we had somebody clapping for us there for a minute, and I was just going to stand up and bow. Y'all watching, when you see me looking down, I don't have a producer with me tonight, so I'm having to run the show. I'm not disinterested, I promise, no matter if it looks that way
I
or
see
not.
how it is.
Yeah, no.
I usually bore people when I'm talking, so it's
well,
nothing new.
if I do this and I put myself up top, it looks like I'm looking at you, Cole. See,
there you
so
go.
that,
Right.
there we go.
Right.
We do the Brady Bunch thing there. But all right, so just wanted to give. We love our watchers, y'all. Please share us with your Facebook friends and share that YouTube page. We want all the folks to find us that can. But we'll get back into our interview. Let's see, Riley. I think you asked the last question. Evan, you want to go next, or you got anything?
Right now with the Kingsmen, because they've been a group since the 1950s, somewhere around then. What is your favorite song? Not even if you've sang it or not. What is your favorite Kingsman song? Which I know is probably the hardest question ever.
Yeah, and there's so many songs.
Mm-hmm. Or if you have one song, for like an era,
just in general, my favorite song. And that really is a hard question. So here's the kind of person I am. I never can tell anybody my favorite song or my favorite movie, because I like so many of them, and I like them kind of equally. But if I had to pick one song favorite from the Kingsmen, I love Rise Up. I will rise up from my grave. I love that song. I actually grew up and our choir director sang that. So if I had to pick one song, that's one. But there's two more.
Okay.
And I heard one of them the other day on the Decades album that I didn't even know was it's good as it is. One is We Do Not Die, that Ernie sang. And the other one, last year at our Big and Live concert, I heard Johnny Parrott sing this song I've never heard the song before. I've always heard about it, but I've never heard the song. And I was sitting on stage with him as he sang this. And it's Jesus, I Love You.
Oh,
those two songs right there, We Do Not Die and Jesus, I Love You. I remember, well, I cried when she just appears. She just, hello. I remember I cried when Johnny sang Jesus, I Love You. But I was driving to the bus not too long ago and heard We Do Not Die. And I texted Alan as soon as it's over. And I said, I just had a shouting fit in the car. Because, and I'm not trying to get all emotional here, but I immediately think of Dad. And that song just stuck out to me. And the amount of emotion and feeling that Ernie put into that song was incredible.
Yes.
So,
which honestly, you could say that about anything Ernie Phillips sang. Golly, that man put, and honestly, and this isn't to blow your head up or anything, or but I always like with the Inspirations doing what they're doing, y'all doing what y'all are doing right now, kind of revamping what these old groups have done, and y'all bringing that glory back to what the Kingsmen are, what the Inspirations are, what Gold City is, bringing these quartets back to life. You and Ernie remind me of, like, y'all two are very similar in the way that y'all sing, in that, like, everything that is sung has 1,010% put into it.
Yeah.
That's how I'm reminded of with just, maybe not so much that he was a tenor, you're a lead, but that you have the same kind of energy on the stage.
Yeah.
Well,
in a sense like that.
Yeah.
Now, I never saw Ernie
appreciate
live, and all I've seen is videos or records or old VHS tapes. But y'all two remind me very similarly of each other, especially in your energy on stage.
Sure. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, Ernie, I never met him either. I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Alan got a chance to sing with him. I know Bob Sellers and Randy Crawford obviously did. They had the honor to sing with him. But from what I've heard, you know, he was something. So I wish I could have. But yeah, it's a great song.
Absolutely.
Avery, good to have you back with us. You have a question you'd like to pose?
Oh, yeah. I've got some that I ask every artist, so you're in the same boat with them. So if there was a retired group that's no longer traveling anymore, that you could travel with, who would it be and why?
Cathedrals.
You were the third person who said that, but like rightfully so. They were.
You took way too long to think about it. That,
Yeah. You should have said it as soon as she started.
It would be the Cathedrals. 3 people that I grew up wanting, listening to, and just wish I could have met. Roger Bennett, Glenn Payne, George Johns.
Awesome.
I mean, in my opinion, a staple for Southern gospel music. That's just my opinion. I mean, nothing against the Statler brothers, nothing against, you know, what is it, Masters 5, Masters 4, whatever it was. Nothing against them. The Cathedrals, I mean, it's just, how do you beat that, in my opinion?
Absolutely.
And that would be the group I would want to travel with.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, they're amazing.
They are. And I'm going to give a kudos to Cole being the first person who has ever brought up the Statler brothers on our, that's reaching.
All the
like
gold in California.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
It's fine.
Wait, I meant to say Statler brothers, but the Statesmen too, and the Stamps and all them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I meant to say the Stamps. I meant to say the Stamps. And I said the Statler brothers. So
you're hitting all of
that. Typical me, but hey, you know, it worked out. Yeah, there we go.
Stuff.
You know, cool.
That's good stuff.
It is what it is.
So I'll let you recover with this one, Cole. So another one I ask everybody is, if you did not sing for a living, and I know you kind of already hit at this when you would have been a baseball player, but a real world job that's not like something people don't normally do, what would you do?
Well, seeing as how you just judged my baseball skills.
No, I trust your baseball skills. You would be a pro athlete. I know. No.
You know, I don't know. Before I did sing Southern gospel music, I was in heating and air conditioning. I've done exterminating work, but that's a tough question. If I could do one thing other than sing, it would probably still be something in music. Whether it be working in a studio or trying to learn sound, to run sound for a group, or maybe even a bus driver. Something, I would say that something, either that or, this is totally just night and day, but I enjoy doing landscaping work. I have terrible allergies, so it bothers me, but I enjoy doing landscaping work, so it may be some landscaping, something like that.
Good deal.
I considered the bus driving route, but you can ask Avery. She doesn't even like riding with me. Usually, she's my chauffeur.
I'm his chauffeur. I don't
So he wouldn't pass the putting the glass of water on the dashboard and not spilling any that JD would throw out there.
I don't even trust him to drive my sedan.
I'd be a better bus mop than a driver.
Hey, Riley, you got another question lined up?
If you could bring back one song that your family sang or any other group you sang with to the Kingsmen, what song would it be?
So we sang a lot of cover songs when I sang with Exodus, and my grandparents' group did. One song, there's actually two songs that has stuck out to me. One, which is not, it's a very well-known song, but I sang with Troy and Tammy and Exodus, is He Didn't Throw the Clay Away. Love that song, and I love singing the song.
Yeah.
But there's a song that my grandfather sang. There's actually two that was really, really influential and just stuck with me since I heard them. One, the Steel sang, and if the other one, if I'm not mistaken, Palmetto State sang it. But one is When the Shepherd Comes Home. My grandfather sang. I don't know if y'all know that song. It's a fantastic song. But the Steel sang a song, and my grandparents sang it. By Grace Through Faith. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that song. The words to that song are fantastic, and it's really stuck. It's stuck with me since I heard it or heard my grandfather sing it. And I just thought of another one. Tony Gore and Majesty sang, and it's called Final Homecoming. And that one, now that I think about it, that one probably, if I could bring a song to the Kingsmen, it would be Final Homecoming, because I have my grandparents there and my dad. And I mean, the first words of the song is, "What a blessed reunion when I get to heaven or get to glory with loved ones who've already gone." And that right there is just, matter of fact, I sang that at a celebration concert after Dad passed, and it was special singing it there because of that, and it speaks to a lot of other people too. But yeah, that's a song. That's the song, Final Homecoming. I'll just say that one.
Okay. Good deal. I'm gonna pop a couple of things up, and y'all, our peanut gallery out there, y'all bear with me. I know I won't catch everybody. If I miss you, I apologize, but we do like to show appreciation to those who's watching. Angie Worley.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. And Blair White says, "Hey, fellas." And I just found out who her dad was the other day.
Yes.
So I got to connect. That gave me the inspirations connection. Now, this one, I don't know where it came from, but Blaine pops up. Cole, I don't know if you saw it, but you kind
I
of saw
thought I accidentally activated the balloons because it happened about the time I popped it in.
Okay.
No, I saw Evan and Riley and Avery laughing, and I didn't know. I thought it was something I said or something. I didn't know what it was.
No, you were talking and all serious, and all of a sudden the birthday balloon started flying up over your screen.
It always happens during the serious moments on this show. No matter, we will get as deep into it as we can, and it's just like getting jalapeno juice in your eye or balloons just floating on screen. Something.
Yeah,
you gotta love them moments.
Yeah, last time, Cole, when we had Ben and Maria Wolf, I was sitting here and Maria was diving deep because you know she can. She really dives deep, and it was an awesome moment. And I honestly kind of had a little moisture going up in my eye, so I reached up and did that in my eye. And if you go back and watch, I mean, it's painful to really go back and see this thing. But I had been cutting jalapenos all afternoon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I was in like code what?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was code
You
red.
just wanted the natural tear effect. You wanted
So I had to pull
really
myself
pour into
out
the
and be
moment.
excused. So anyway,
Right.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Well, good deal. Thank you all so much again for joining us. And if you get a chance to share us, we would greatly appreciate it. Tell folks that you're watching and that they need to be with us and watch us too. So we are tickled to have Cole Watson with us, and we've already had a blessed time with him with our questions. Who's up next? Evan, you got anything you want to ask at this point?
Since we're going down kind of this funny route, I'll ask my funny question I always ask.
Okay.
And you should know a little bit about this one because you've traveled with Troy and Tammy, and I know they feed well. What's your favorite road trip snack on the bus?
Ooh, well, it's changed. Back then, it was probably, so when I was with Troy and Tammy, me and Ethan got to. I don't know if Tammy introduced it or Ethan did, but it was chocolate chip cookie cereal, and Tammy would buy it. That was fantastic. Gold City, I don't really. Gold City, me and Thomas got on a Pop-Tart kick last year with Gold City. And like every weekend Thomas would bring all different kind of Pop-Tarts on the bus and we'd eat these different kind of Pop-Tarts. But now I'm lame and boring. I eat healthy. I don't, so right now my favorite snack, there's a trail mix that I eat. It has walnuts and almonds and dried mangoes and cranberries and pumpkin seeds. I will eat the whole bag in one sitting. So
I always ask this question because there you go, folks. That's what you get, Cole, now whenever you go and see him. So there you go. That's just free. That's how you get free snacks. Always try to throw that in on the podcast.
Bag at the table.
There you go.
Yeah. So not that fun. It's not Skittles or Starburst or anything like that. It's healthy trail mix. Sorry.
Good stuff. Avery, you want to go next? Oh,
I can do a question real quick.
Go ahead, Riley. I wasn't looking. I'm sorry.
I have somebody. I'm going to do a question that somebody sent in. How has it been different traveling with a male quartet instead of singing with your family on the road and musically?
Okay. Well, so it is. It's a big difference. Yeah, it just is. I don't really know. All male quartet, you can. I don't really know how to explain this one, honestly. Thanks, Riley. I appreciate you put me on the spot.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Let me figure out how to say this. Wow, Riley, I appreciate it, man.
So that's a curveball, huh?
Yeah. I never was good at hitting curveballs either. So.
Now I have not had any experience and don't know where your mind's going, but immediately I think about with non-family, there's got, with family, generally you have some natural chemistry built in, mm-hmm. Whereas with non-family, that chemistry means everything on the bus.
I will say that. So when you're traveling with family, and like the Mylan Hayes family, the Hoppers, the Wisnets, they can attest to this. There's something about a family harmony. There's mm-hmm. something about family chemistry on stage, on and off stage, really, but especially on stage. And you can usually tell when it's a family group and when it isn't. And that's not a bad thing. That's just the way it is. And so I will say that with an all-male quartet, nothing against mixed groups. I love mixed groups. I really do. But I've always liked the all-male quartet sound. But it's a mm-hmm. different sound. I will say mm-hmm. that. Singing with Exodus and then singing with, Gold City and the Kingsmen, the sound is completely different. And this is just my opinion. I feel like you have to learn a little differently. Mm-hmm. That makes sense?
It does.
So
it does.
I'll say that.
Okay. Before we had somebody slide into the comments. So what is this all about?
So Brooklyn introduced me to these. They're called Heavenly Hunks, and they're healthy. And I love oatmeal. That's my favorite breakfast is oatmeal. But it's an oatmeal. It's like little squares, and it has dark chocolate chips in it, and I think that's it, honestly. And it's just in a square, and it's you eat it. They're fantastic. But no, Brooklyn, I still like the trail mix. So.
And thank you, Brooklyn, for joining us. And is it okay to say congratulations? I hope it is on here.
It is. That's my fiance, everybody.
There you go. Put it out there.
That's cue the balloons now.
Yes,
balloons.
So, we are tickled for the engagement of Cole and Brooklyn. Congratulations to y'all.
And thank you to everybody that reached out too. If you're watching, thank you to everybody that reached out. I appreciate it.
And I meant to ask that when we were behind if it was okay to say that, and
Yeah,
because
no.
I always like to stay respectful of everybody's privacy, but I knew it was
No,
public anyway. It was out there. So Heavenly Hunks, that might be, my wife makes something. I went through a deal here lately trying to lose back some weight that I had lost at one time and found it laying around somewhere, but it was a snack of like oatmeal and raw honey
Ooh.
and banana and dark chocolate chips.
Yeah, essentially, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's in the same
Yes, sir.
family probably. Yeah, good
Sure.
These
stuff.
do look good. I just Googled them. They look,
Yeah,
they look great.
they're fantastic. Absolutely.
Well, I just
Yeah.
didn't know because I didn't. Heavenly Hunks could have went a lot of different ways, so I wasn't sure exactly where
Yeah.
that question was going.
Yeah.
So
That's
That was his
typical.
favorite song. Was
I thought that was. I thought I thought there was a new quartet
one-
being formed, and
If
that was
there's
the
one
name.
song I could bring back from, yeah, it's Heavenly Hunks. Man, that was a fun song to sing. I tell you, got a lot of audience reaction too.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, who's next?
Avery, are you still busy?
No, I think I'm good right now. I'm going to ask another one. Sorry, we were discussing a next plan of action.
Understood.
So during Big and Live this year, Cole, we got to be there. We had the honor of being there since it was in Gadsden. And you got out. Now, as far as I know, this was unscripted and had not been practiced or planned. But you got out on the stage and did Wish You Were Here just by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my word, the spirit that moved through that. I mean, I remember just crying because I know your story, and a lot of people I don't think in that auditorium at the moment knew that about you. But that was gorgeous. It was Gadsden, which is home for you. And then it was like the Kingsmen. It's Big and Live. It was the 50th anniversary. It was so big. And I knew your dad he would have been so proud of you. So how did that feel for you? We know what it felt for the crowd. How did that feel for you?
So I remember at soundcheck, we were talking, and I had mentioned that song to Alan, and I'm like, man, this might could be something that I would want to sing because it speaks to me. And listen, I'm not the only one. I mean, there's people. It happens to a lot of people, unfortunately, but that's part of life. We get that. But I told Alan, I said, I just don't know if I can sing it, and he said, a track for it. And Alan was actually going to get a track made. So the track is a little faster than what I sang that night. And anytime we have a piano player, whether it's Richie or whoever's playing, Corey Pearson actually played at Big and Live. I tend to want them to play it slower because I feel like I can put more into it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And really take my time and just think about the song. But that night in particular, Mom was going to be there. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time Mom was ever going to hear us sing the Kingsmen. And my sister and my niece, Brooklyn and her family was there. And so I remember Alan saying, hey, how would you feel about doing Wish You Were Here tonight? I said, no, nope. He said, you sure? I said, no, I'm sure. He said, man, I really do feel like it could be a moment. And I said, do you need that song in this program? He said, I kind of do, yes. And I said, well, if you need the song and you want it to be sung, I'll prepare myself and I'll try to sing it. So we ran over to sound check, and Corey Pearson had no idea we were doing it. And he started playing and he started squalling. I started crying, and I don't cry. I mean, I don't show my emotions. I'm just that kind of person. But I teared up a little bit. So we stand on stage that night, and I'm telling Mom, I'm telling Brooklyn, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could sing this song. I mean, I cried during sound check. So we stand on stage, and it doesn't help, which it helped the moment. It didn't help me and Corey, which Corey didn't have to sing it. He just had to play it. But it didn't help me that Alan introduced it the way he did, talking about my dad. And he might even mention Corey. I don't know. Anyway, so I get up to sing, and I'm praying the whole time, Lord, just help me. Please help me. Help me get through this. And I actually hadn't really told many people this. It's almost like I was just zoned out, if that makes. That sounds bad. I don't mean it the way it sounds. I was zoned out because those words that night, and I've sang it since, and it's a great song. I love singing it. But that night, that moment was so special. I could feel the presence all over me, and I zoned out, and all I could think about was those songs those lyrics in my dad, and it was like I was singing to him. And I'm not trying to get kind of soppy or sad, but I was singing to my dad, and I literally put my whole entire being and heart into that song that night. And I knew my mom was in the audience, and I looked over at Corey, and he is squalling again. And then I teared up. And if you go back and listen, you can hear me a little bit. And I try to control it while I'm singing, but it catches a little bit. That moment right there will forever be one of my all-time favorite moments. And if I never have another one, that moment right there, it was special. It was amazing, because like Avery said, the spirit was just incredible there when that happened. It was crazy. And the fact that I was able to get through that song that night was all God. And some people might disagree with what I'm about to say, and that's okay. I feel like my dad had a hand on me that night. I really do. It was special.
And the feeling of that you said that you referred to, I think when you kind of referred to, maybe you said zone out, and just, I think the word speaks of a peace that passes all understanding. And you said you prayed, and the Lord, it sounded like the Lord gave you exactly what you needed to get through that. Yep. And that's special. Thank you, Avery, for asking that question.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cole, I could definitely tell you were just singing it to your dad. It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of dads.
Speaking of dads, I like to let Avery and Evan know they're being watched. Yep. And I was actually going to put that one up when Brother Robert popped in, but Jake, referring to Cole's songs, did an awesome job. And Pat Barker says howdy.
Who?
Hey, Pat.
And
love you too, Pat.
Richie.
Oh, wow. You're too kind, Richie.
Greatest lead singer he's heard in a long time.
That's a piano playing machine right there.
He is, absolutely. I love to hear Richie play. Thank you all for watching. But yeah, thank you so much, Avery, for taking down that road. That was a good question. Riley, do you got anything else from the bag from some of the folks on the forward group had some questions?
Somebody asked, besides NQC, what is the best stage / place you sang at?
Silver Dollar City, Echo Hollow is fantastic. That's really special. I'm gonna say this. I've been honored and just blessed to sing on some really incredible stages. But the reason what I'm about to say is one of my favorites is because of what happens during the days of this event. And that's the ARC, 40 Days and 40 Nights. In today's time, the fact that Christians and really and truly non-Christians come in there and gather 40 days and 40 nights like it is to hear Christian music, Southern gospel music, Christian music. If I'm not mistaken, this year, I wish maybe close to 2,000, maybe close to 3,000 souls were saved, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But what an event that all these souls come in there listening to all these groups sing and get saved. That's fantastic, in my opinion. And just to know that something that I potentially, and it's this way on any stage I sing on, whether it's a plywood box that I stand on or a very nice stage, if something I sing or say touches a young person, a middle-aged person, or even an old person that is searching and needs some kind of word of encouragement or words of joy and hope and comfort, I pray every time before I step on stage, Lord, I pray that they see you through me.
Mhm.
And it's a simple prayer. I'm sure a lot of people pray that prayer, but I do. Help them see you through me. Help me get out of my own way so that you can move through me, because you never know. And the arc, that right there is incredible in my opinion. So other than EQC, the arc is one of my favorite places to sing, because not just because of the stage or where it's at, it's because of what happens during those concerts. It's incredible. And what they are doing is incredible.
It is.
So, yeah.
So, have we covered about all the questions that came in, Riley, from the forward group?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions you guys had lined up to ask?
So I wanted to know if Cole has anointed any churches since he's been to our church.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on this interview tonight. So, Scott, I don't know if you know this. Scott, do you know this story?
I do not, but I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Well, Avery and Evans Church, we sang there. What was it?
It was May.
It was this year. It was May.
Yeah, it was earlier this year.
You get to sing in my church 2 times this year.
And we're getting ready to sound check. And listen, one thing you need to know about the Kingsmen, our sound checks and our setup process is, it's something. So we goof off a little bit, nothing crazy, we're
A little bit.
We're professional, we're respectful, but we goof off a little. We have fun.
That's good.
So I don't know, I might have found a tambourine or something. I was doing something, and I knocked over some anointing oil, and it spilled all over that stage, that platform. And
I would like to correct you. It was not a tambourine. It was a little baby ukulele.
That makes more sense. So I had a ukulele, and I was playing it, and somehow this little itty bitsy bottle of anointing oil, I decided to knock over, and I think all of it, every single bit of it. And
no, it was not all of it, but a good majority of it.
That's semi better.
Also, in your defense, that bottle is like 35 years old. So.
Oh, well, thank that. Yeah, that makes me feel even better. Thanks, Avery. I appreciate it. So this 35-year-old bottle of anointing oil, I just decided to anoint the whole I was trying to help the church out. Okay, listen, it seemed a little dead when I walked in there, so I was trying to help it out.
I was the only person in there.
Well.
So I just looked at it. You know how a kid will spill milk or knock over something in a store after your parents tell you not to touch something, and they touched a jar of marbles, and you're just sitting there looking at it. That's what I did. I literally froze. I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, oh no. And I looked over, and their dad, Robert's, just looking at me like, way to go. Or he said, way to go, or it's okay, or something like that. Hey, I'll tell you that was a great service that night. So I'm not saying I had anything to do with that, but
you just wonderful. Also pre-anointed it for when you guys come in November.
There you go.
Throw in a little sponsor for myself,
sure.
Scott.
Sure.
If you want to see the famous anointed stage and those guys from Asheville, they will be at my church on November 18th at 6 p.m. You can check my Facebook page for the dates. So
perfect
for the address.
They have all their anointing oil locked up in a safe now.
Yeah.
So, well, I love stories like that. Now that's good stuff. That's behind the scenes. All right, Cole. So that was a moment, that was in sound check. Anything come to mind that is shareable from the stage? Have you had like, or a stage or a table that again, that is shareable, like most memorable, funny or awkward or blooper moment?
It's all happened with the Kingsmen. Because let me tell you something. You travel, and I love him to death. He, bless his heart, he's a legend, and I'm honored to travel with him. But you travel with an 84-year-old, it's something. And even a 21-year-old. Drew is, I know, y'all know Drew, and Drew is as goofy and as country as cornbread. And you take him to some of these places, and he don't know how to act, and neither does Ray. But that I can share. Let me think. I did spit my gum into a lady's lap not too long ago. I don't chew gum on stage anymore. I don't necessarily know if it landed in her lap, but it came close. If I tried not to even think about it. I knew it happened. I just went along with it.
So she was in the spitting section.
Yeah, right. Ray's done some pretty funny stuff on stage. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this.
Oh no! Don't do anything.
No. It should be. It's okay.
Don't fill the lineup. It's too good, Cole.
We were at a church not too long ago, and Ray was getting up on stage, and Drew usually helps him up just to make sure. Well, Drew forgot, and in Ray's defense, they were steep steps. He fell. He not bad, but he fell. And anything he could have done anything. But instead, he just turns around and looks at the audience and like strikes a pose like that, laying down. So I mean, that's funny, I guess.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
that sounds like his humor.
Oh, absolutely. He is. I've never seen anybody that can just on the spot, just put on a act if he needs to. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised none of those stories included Ethan McNally, because in 2 short months, I have a book's worth of stories of things that me and him did. Mainly that I would protagonize and he would just kind of, I'd throw gasoline on the fire. He'd like the match type deal. So, yeah.
Right. Oh, there's some stories. But
like Scott said, ones you can say over.
Yeah. Well, y'all, and we didn't really talk about time, and we definitely don't want to overstay our welcome with Cole, but what else y'all got in line of questions tonight? Anything else that y'all had in your bag of tricks?
I was going to ask about, y'all have a new single out, Unstoppable God.
Yes.
You want to tell a bit about that?
Yeah, so it was out this past Friday on all streaming platforms. It's Unstoppable God. It's a fantastic song. And, I was talking today to Alan, and if you go back and you look in the Bible, you look at your everyday lives, it's literally everywhere. Our God is unstoppable. There's nothing that he cannot conquer. There's nothing he cannot overcome. And again, it's proven. And the words in this song is fantastic. And it was written by Kenna Turner West and somebody. Forgive me, I can't remember one of the other writers' names, but I do know Chris Bryant helped write it as well. Thomas does an outstanding job on it. And I mean, the first words, I stood at the foot of a mountain too high to climb. And we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't, you will at some point. And sometimes you feel like all hope is gone and all hope is lost, and you're not going to get over that mountain or through that valley. But again, here comes God. He's unstoppable, and he will always bring you through whatever you're going through. So yeah, check out. It's brand new, and it's out on all streaming platforms. We're really excited about this song. It's really special.
Absolutely awesome.
And we hope y'all enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you do enjoy it, and you already have enjoyed, we appreciate it.
Spectacular song. Go listen to it as soon as the interview's done.
Yeah.
People who are watching,
Yeah.
go listen to it after the interview. It's awesome.
And our mission is always here, uplifting and connecting our young folks, young artists, but we always want to promote the groups that are represented on us. And we definitely love the Kingsmen Quartet and think the world of them. And if you want to purchase products, and that's what I got to do my thing, y'all. I asked about, anybody who would like to support us. We would love to have your support. We want y'all to support our artists and our groups that give their time to come to us. You can go to kingsmanquartet.com and you'll find their store there. Has all their CDs and USBs and all the products. Would really appreciate it if you'd go there. You can go there and you can find their tour. You already heard one date, November 18th at Emmanuel Baptist. That's going to be here in Alabama. Is that officially Empire? Is that the
It's Hayden. If you go across the road, it's Empire.
Okay, it's Hayden address, but in the Hayden Empire, Alabama range, if you're from Alabama, you know where that's at. And you can find all the tour, and then you can find how to book them. And we want y'all to go, pastors, music directors, church members, go out and book the Kingsmen Quartet to come to your church. They would love to have
this from experience. They'll treat you well. Just watch out for your anointing bottles. So.
And way out there, and I'm going to be in trouble with my cousin, who I feel like may be watching, and I may find it really quick. Probably not, though. But way out there in West Alabama land, we have a contract on coming up with the Kingsmen. I'm almost there. But anyway, next year in Fayette, Alabama, and I'm not coming up with that. Neil, if you're watching, if you'll put that in the comments, I will shout it out. But we have the Kingsmen Quartet coming to Fayette, Alabama, the Fayette Civic Center. I'm thinking that is a July date, but be watching for that. But go support Cole and the Kingsmen. Go shop and look at their products, and that helps keep them on the road, y'all. And we would appreciate it if you would do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Go see these guys on tour, because this lineup is one that you do not want to miss. And I'm not just saying that because I want you to come join us at my church. If you can see them in your area, go see it. This lineup, I remember the first time I saw you guys, it may have been Big and Live. And I stood out in the lobby right after y'all were done. I was just like, wow, that was like come out in like matching suits, but still not matte. It was the same color, but kind of like how the old Kingsmen used to do it, same color, but not completely the same suit. I was like, this is going to be great. And then y'all did the whole set, and I was like, these guys are epic. Y'all really brought it. So.
And that 2024 date for your calendars in Fayette, Alabama is July the 27th. But so opportunities here. But all right, y'all. I guess this is our last line of questions.
And everybody keep tuning in to Southern Gospel Forward. I love what y'all are doing. It's fantastic. It really is, and I appreciate y'all doing this. It's neat to see all the young people come together and introduce themselves and want to be a part of this, and are asking questions. It's wonderful. So y'all tune in every time they have one of these interviews. Y'all tune in and support them, share it, and support them.
Thank you, Cole, for that. We appreciate that. And yes, we're thankful for all of our young artists and fans, and definitely thankful for artists like you that come alongside of us and willing to do the interviews and to help promote. So we appreciate that.
I'm honored to be here.
Cole Avery usually drops a question on the artist, and I'll just put it out there, but you have, and you don't have to include me, you can if you want to, but you have some young artists here, and you've been hammered for about an hour with a lot of questions. Is there any question you would pose to our panel of young artists?
Okay. There's one, and they don't have to be retired, because I think y'all would probably all say the Cathedrals. But if there's one group, if you could sing with one group right now, who would it be? Evan, I'll start with you.
Ooh, current lineups or
anybody?
Let's do anybody. Let's just do anybody.
Sing or just can be a part of?
If you could sing in one group, who would it be?
Okay, sing. Pass, Steve. Go pass. Come back to me. Let me take
Riley.
The Inspirations.
Nice. Avery.
I'm gonna have to go with the McCameys. I absolutely adore them, and I wish Peg would have been my grandma. I mean, I love my own grandmothers, but like if she would adopt me, I would be very happy with that. And also, like, I don't think they have ever done a song I did not like. So, the McCameys.
I got my answer now. I told you. If you come back around to me, so if it's like modern day lineup, I would kill to just be in a band with you guys, like y'all's lineup. Put me on keys, put me on bass, put me on piano. I'd love to play with you guys.
You can play the electric triangle.
Yeah, I played the triangle. Shoot, just let me play something up there. I'd love to because y'all's music is fun. But if I had to sing with a group, past or present, it would be the Imperials, specifically the '73 lineup.
Oh wow, okay.
Which is probably the weirdest answer, but I would love the Imperials.
No, wow, how about that?
Interesting.
Okay, yeah. Scott, who would you sing with?
Present day, I'd like to be a part of probably Greater Vision. Not a quartet, but of course we could move Epley down on bass, and I would slide into the baritone slot, and we could.
Go.
If Gerald would pay for singers. But anyway, Greater Vision, they are the present day to me, just watching the machine that was the Cathedrals as far as class and management and integrity and just in the sound and just the projects one after the other. It just reminds me a lot of and it should remind me a lot because Gerald is a chip off of the Glenn and George block. Gosh, the old groups, of course, I grew up listening to Inspirations, that classic group, but I'm really going back further. I think it would have been cool to have been a part of maybe like Blue Ridge Quartet days when it was Ed Sprouse and Jim Hamill and let's see. I can't remember exact lineup. Was it Ed, Jim, Elmo, and then George? There was a stint. I think that was the foursome that made up the Blue Ridge Quartet. And
I'm not sure. I know Alan Kendall would know, but
yeah, he and I, both of us are old school in mind on such as that, or the classic Statesman. I'm kind of an old heart, and to see how those guys did it without modern technology, without modern convenience.
With two microphones,
traveling in maybe a stretch limo, for all those miles, and just to kind of take that in, just to kind of picture that and see how all that come together. And I think that would be really neat to see.
Awesome. One more question I have for all of you.
Yeah, no.
Favorite Kingsmen song?
Man, you can't put
Oh,
me
yes, I am.
Ah, nice.
A newer one. A lot of people pick older ones, but Oh Yes I Am.
Oh Yes I Am. Good song.
Off of this album
Gets
right
me cranked
here,
up every time.
track 1, Roll Tide. I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, I've asked Alan to sing it so many times, but no, for real, probably it's off of Big and Live, and what is it? It's my favorite. No, dude, I'm telling you, I'm indecisive.
Like it's your
Victory
favorite
Shout.
song.
Victory Shout is my favorite Kingsman song.
Okay, Riley.
Yeah.
That's a very hard question. I like When They Call My Name or Just As the Sun Went Down.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
When They Roll the Clouds Away, that's the one off Big and Live that I was thinking of. That one's the chord pattern, and that one's weird, and I love it.
Oh, well.
Let's let Squire step up to the mic and sing What a Lovely Name.
There you go. Classic.
My second favorite is Excuses, mostly because that was the first one I really kind of knew because our elementary Sunday school class had to learn it, and Evan did the he didn't shake my hand. Second
That song is so true
what,
too. Yeah.
Tell you what, if you learn that song, we probably will not do it when we come to y'all's church, but you can still learn it and get up and sing it yourself.
No. Like we did when we were young, like when we were little kids.
Y'all should learn it.
Well played.
Y'all should learn it and sing it at when
we've got little kids. We'll teach them. I teach them. I'll teach my little kids.
As long as Evan sings, he didn't even shake my hand. That's fine.
We can make that happen.
Look, I can't shake your hand through the screen, but you got a deal.
Gotcha.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Cool. Wow. I don't know if Blaine just knew that or if he was guessing, but The funny thing about me being a Statesman guy, because you think of the classic Statesman, and I don't know how many young folks watching would care about this, but most folks think classic Statesman of Denver, Jake, Doy, Chief, and Hovey, and I like that. But my favorite ensemble was a period of time around that time when actually Cat Freeman was the tenor singer, Cat from Fife, Alabama. And then also love the Rosie, Jack, Doy, Chief lineup. So, yeah, you got me pegged there, Blaine. And I'm going to get all nerdy and all historical here if I don't hush, so I'll get out of that. But thank you for asking us those questions. And we enjoy that little turn the tables there. And we've learned a lot about each other with that.
Right.
Well, very good. Anything else from you guys before we crank the truck? And oh, wait a minute. Whoop. Well, I think Cat was my favorite tenor, I believe, is what Brother Luke was going for there.
Old dinner, yeah.
Oh, man, I saw his name and I popped him up before I proofread. There we go.
There you
go. There, that's better. Yeah, Cat was. Yeah, Luke, you and I have good taste because Cat was about as smooth. He wasn't with the Statesman long, but he was excellent blending tenor with them. Great sound. Well, all right, y'all.
I thought of one last question.
Come
Cole,
on.
you guys have, I think I've heard you guys do it once live, but do you guys do Old Ship of Zion anymore?
No,
I know
not since I've been here, because people have asked if Drew could sing it, and it's one of those deals. It's a Radine Reese song.
Yeah.
Anytime Radine Reese it will get on the bus, and if he ever says, "Hey guys, I want to sing that song," we will learn it. We will sing it. But he just hasn't yet. So
good question.
Well, I think I didn't know. I love that one. That was a good one. I just got thinking about that.
The first song I ever learned bass on was that song.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
It's a Radine Reese song.
It is.
Right? So
it is.
It's a great song though.
Love
you too, Luke. And all inspirations, absolutely.
Speaking about songs, I know that in our area in Alabama, West Central Alabama, we have a lot of folks that do come by and watch our live stream and catch the podcast. There's a song, and y'all have started staging this again, I think, that was written by, and I don't know that he's watching tonight or not, but one of a guy I've known all my life, sung in groups that he's played piano with. But Mark Jones wrote a song called Inside the Gate. And I think y'all have staged that a good bit.
We do.
In the current lineup.
We sing it every so often. We'll usually get on and that's the thing about the Kingsmen. There's plenty of songs we can choose from. We can't sing every single one of them, right? But there's plenty of songs we can choose from. So we'll get on a kick to where a couple of months we'll sing the same songs, and then we'll swap them out. Sometimes Alan's the one that usually picks the set list, and he might change, and two, you never know what is going to change on stage. The Lord might move and just lead him in a different direction. But, we'll go. I've went 2 months without singing Inside the Gate, but then I've also went a couple of months when we do sing it. So, but I didn't know the guy wrote it. That's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah, I actually was on the Mississippi Live project from about, I think, 1986. But the little local group that I used to be in called the Bama Boys was the first that put that on there, and Mark sent it in, and then the rest is history. So that's pretty cool. But it was a treat.
Great song.
That was a surprise to see y'all bring that back out of the archives. So
yeah.
Well, all right,
we just
y'all.
got one more comment, and this may be the last question. This was on Riley's post on Southern Gospel Forward. It was sent in 1 minute ago from a man named Alain Kendall, something like that. And he said, "How long have you admired your current baritone singer?"
Yeah, Danny Riley's great, man. I tell you what, he Alain Kendall. Yeah, he's okay. I mean,
pretty good.
He's
could do better.
I mean, I don't know if he's watching or not, but he commented 1 minute ago on the post. So
listen, he'll do. He's as good as he's gonna get. I'll say that. No, Alan's Alan. That's one. They're all fun to travel with. It's great. It's great to travel with them. They're all great people. It's fun, and again, Alan says it every so often on stage. You travel with an 84-year-old and a 21-year-old. It's quite something.
Yeah.
I will say one thing, and I'm getting a little serious here for a little bit. It's special. It's really amazing to see Drew and Ray together. Because Drew, literally, he soaks up any kind of words of wisdom that Ray has. And Ray looks to Drew as like a second son almost. It's really it's special to see. And when we're on stage, Drew's just grinning. Y'all have seen pictures. Y'all have seen him live. Drew grins ear to ear. So it's really cool.
Fantastic.
But I love the group I sing with. The baritone singer, he's okay.
You can tell Drew has fun. Like
yes,
Drew does have fun. He does.
Did he stop doing the coat throw? I don't know if that has been taken out, but the first time I saw him and he threw his coat off stage, I was like, okay,
yeah.
Because he's done it about once or twice, and it may have been I was lucky to see the only 2 times he did it.
He's done it twice that I've been here.
Wow.
And I was at those 2 then.
And that's not a Drew thing. It's an Alan thing. Alan will just run on stage. Alan will be like, throw your coat, and Drew will just take it off and throw it.
And for those of y'all watching, Richie Works has posted a link to a YouTube video of the coat throw from Drew. If you want to see that, you can look in our comments and see that. But
I can see that becoming, in the next 30 to 40 years, if it is a continuous thing, becoming, something of Peg throwing off her shoes.
In the years past, way before your years, Hamill threw the jacket and the tie. I mean,
that's what Alan. Alan's thrown his tie a couple of times, but not his coat. Yeah. Drew's. Alan likes to give Drew some stuff to, with Ray especially.
Yep, that's right. But yeah, we think the world of Alan. I appreciate him. He does a lot of work for the industry. He does a lot of work for the Southern Gospel Music Association, and he's a classy guy. We appreciate him, and a lot of fun too. A lot of fun. So
yeah.
All right.
He knows his stuff. That's for sure. About
he does. He
does. His history. He knows his history.
He's a blessing. And Cole, you are too. We have just been blessed tonight to have you with us. And we keep doing this. We don't mean to, but I believe we're going to bust a new record on this thing. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not when we keep somebody this long. Cole, I hope you ain't mad at us for having you on so long. But,
it's okay. I've just this one time. This makes up for the I about to say essential oil. The anointing oil. This makes up for the spill. So it's all good.
Yeah. There we go.
We really do appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you taking your time and giving to us, and you've been a blessing, and we've just enjoyed getting to know you better, and I know our watchers and listeners have too. Go see Cole and the Kingsmen in concert.
Yeah.
And
come by the table and say hi.
Come by and say hi. Anybody else from partners have anything else before we close?
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I don't know if some people caught it. I'm competing in a competition tomorrow through Penn State. So prayers are appreciated. If you're on Eastern time, we present at about 10 o'clock. Central is about 9. So pray for our team that we do well.
Yeah, we'll be praying for you, Avery.
And then we get out before midnight tonight. Well, we will be out before midnight tonight. But.
Absolutely. And all y'all out there in Facebook and YouTube land that's watching, give Avery a big old hand, because she is really this taking one for the team with working on this project.
My team waves at you guys there. They all are.
And hey guys, and participating with us. We howdy, good luck. Prayers.
Thank you so much.
But we thank y'all, and Evan and Riley, thanks for joining us and everything y'all have contributed. Thank y'all to our watchers and our listeners. If you're catching this on the podcast. And Cole, thanks again, buddy. We appreciate you greatly.
Thank y'all. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Cole.
it was fun. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. And until next time, we'll see y'all around the bend.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, Riley.